This is carpool karaoke after all, so what are we going to sing? Welcome to our On the Road to Salesforce Success series. If many of you have been to events around the world, you probably know Aaron. How many different events do you reckon you've spoken at?
Over 75 around the world.
Impressive stuff. So if people are going along to Dreamforce this year, why should they seek you out in the hundreds of sessions that are out there?
It'll give you a very good foundational base for some really simple reporting features that'll make your lives easier, make your job easier, provide more value to your stakeholders quicker.
Definitely worth going to. What are some tips that you would provide for people going for the first time?
You can't see everything, number one, so try and plan your days around maybe one of the specific buildings and try and hang out in one building for one day, because you'll be able to see more sessions than trying to traverse, back and forth across the city. Get to know other people there. There's a lot of people there that it'll be their first time or never been to a Salesforce event like that, so make sure you take advantage of the networking. That to me is as valuable as any of the technical content that you'll get there. Be a little proactive. I'm an introvert, so it's not normal for me to go out and just seek out people to introduce myself and that sort of thing. So you got to kind of force yourself to get outside your comfort zone a little bit. Some of these folks are going to be able to open doors for you. They're going to be able to teach you things. I've made a ton of great friends from all over the world from these events. So try and take advantage of that as much as the tech side of things.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing, if you are an introvert and you're at a tech conference, you're surrounded by people that you have something in common with. The Dream Fest, do you have a particular favorite that you, over the last few years?
I think that my favorite was the first one they had post-COVID, where it was a couple thousand people, invite only, and they shut down, I think it was Howard Street, and Foo Fighters played on the sidewalk. It was one of the most phenomenal shows I've ever seen.
Yeah. So is AI a game changer, or is it still hype? Where are we in that hype cycle?
Right now, I think it's still a bit hype, but it will be a game changer. I think everybody's got a bit of a level of concern with it just because it's so new and it moves so fast. Just in the last 2 years or so, it's kind of become on the forefront of everybody's topics. But you see a lot of people that think it's going to be magic and you're not going to need a developer or an architect or an admin anymore, and that this AI is going to do it all, and that's not the case. Somebody's still going to monitor and get eyes on this stuff, making sure the context is there of why we're doing it this way. Yeah. That's always going to be needed. Moving
on to some of the more in the weeds of the technical side. I mean, obviously, this paradox of the Salesforce world being so incredibly powerful and flexible, but at the same time, the more you do, the more complex, the more tech debts.
Yeah, I mean, every org is going to have some level of tech debt. Trying to manage that and minimalize it as much as you can. It's part of my job as a consultant. It should be part of any admin's job. So being able to use tools like Elements to help us identify and surface some of that stuff, or bringing up a dependency tree and being able to show a customer why this is a 20-hour build, not a 2-hour build, just because of all the interrelationships and level of complexity. It's very, very helpful to have tools like that to make my job easier.
What about the process-led change? This idea of, rather than diving into, yeah, sure, we can build that, actually looking at and doing more business analysis at the front end. What are some of your experiences around?
Oh yeah, it's very common practice. Somebody's going to ask for, a new object or new fields that they absolutely have to have, and it's never going to get used. So trying to lead them down that path, especially like customers that I've been working with for a while, I can bring up examples of, past scenarios where, hey, you said you needed this and you've never used it. Like, we'll be going down that path again. So I try and work backwards from, hey, what are your goals with this? And then we work backwards to see, okay, do we have something we might already be able to use for this? Does it have to be something net new? And what's really going to be the value of this? Is it something that's critical to the business, or is this something that's a nice to have that two people are asking for?
Could be Salesforce, could be outside Salesforce. What's your favorite productivity hack?
For me, it's getting up super early. So I'm typically in the office between 4 and 5 a.m. because my phone's not ringing, my emails are not coming in, no Slack notifications. I can just, work for a couple hours straight and get a ton of stuff done. So for me, I feel like I'm getting ahead of the game.
That's really impressive. Shared with a lot of very successful people, so that's a great one. In terms of, this is carpool karaoke after all, so what are we going to sing? I'm kidding. We've got Elton John coming to Dreamforce this year.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, any particular favorites
Oh man, he's got so many big hits. That's tough. Maybe Crocodile Rock.
Crocodile Rock's a great one. Yeah.
Looking forward to being back there.
It's been a real pleasure. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Great to see you, and see you at one of many events.